I just need to know if it's
Hey, family, this is Doug Reed of the Let's Go Show. Hey, this is a special edition. And I say this is a special edition because this young lady is very close to my heart, like a sister. I mean, she could be a mom, my mom too. Just the way she comes out and just the way she looks after me. And then we're gonna talk about some other things that she did that I want you guys to know. So without any further ado, I'll say, Marcia, how are you doing?
hey Doug. I'm great.
You
I'm great for this Tuesday evening.
you good? All right.
Yes.
So tell me, who is Marcia Daniels?
Hmm. Who is Marcia Daniels? Ha, that's a good question. Marcia Daniels is um just a person trying to get through this life, um, deal with life struggles, be the best grandparent that I can be. Um, love on the children. That's who I am. I just want to love on the kids.
Yeah,
I know God is pulling me somewhere. I'm not sure yet, but he's pulling me towards kids.
yeah. And we already know you have it, and we'll talk about that
Okay.
too because we know that you have a heart for these kids.
I'm just
So
I'm ambitious. I'm a hard worker. Um, like to have fun.
all those things combined into
All those
one. You
things.
can't even put it in a bottle.
No, I
You know what I
can't.
mean? Because you
No
can't.
bottom.
You're like me. You're the type of person that, especially right now, you can't be contained right now. You got to be free. You got to be able to do what you love to do.
Not at all.
So let's go back a little bit. Uh, Tell us a little bit. Coming up, or things in your past. We'll talk about even how we met. But who was the early? Well, not even gonna say the early Marcia. Like, where did the name Cookie come from?
I don't know. I was told that my godmother used to call me Cool, and from Cool it came to Cookie, but nobody knows the whole story. And she's passed away now, so I don't know the whole story. But that's where I just been Cookie all my life. So
Yeah,
even on the pictures, it's
everything's Cookie.
Cookie. Hmm.
So tell us a little bit about just coming up and your middle school, high school. I mean, what was that like?
What middle school?
Or as far as you want to go back.
When I go back, ooh, elementary, that's way back. Um, Junior high is the we called it. They call it middle school now, but junior high, we were like the seventh, eighth, and ninth grade. I went to Lyons junior high when my siblings all went to Peoples. I wanted to go to Lyons, and most because um I had older friends, and so all of my friends went to Lyons. So that's why I wanted to go to Lyons because all of my friends have always been a year or two older than me. But that's funny because now I'm the oldest out of my friends, except for my one best friend. Yeah.
So let
But
me, but
go ahead.
let me ask you this because you say you went to Lions, but like I met you through a very close friend, Billy Evans. But I remember you being at Peoples.
I would come to you guys football games and basketball games. Just because Billy, my brother, went to Peoples and you guys were friends, and that's how we met. But I was at every one of you guys' home football games or your basketball games. If we didn't have a game, because we had D Tony Hunter that went to Lions,
Yeah.
so I would be had to
And
be
it's
at
funny,
those
we
games.
never played. I don't think we ever played Lions in middle school.
I can't think back that far.
Yeah, and it's funny. I'll tell you the thing, but because of course playing basketball and football with Billy and actually Dwayne Francisco, who was we were all close. And I
Hmm.
remember I didn't know how good, like maybe you can share. I didn't know how really good Billy was in baseball.
Oh, yes. I
You know,
can't go back. I just know what to me, my brothers played all sports good, but baseball was the sport that they excelled in.
yeah, because
That was
you know Billy and Francisco, they went to I think Summit Country Day. I was like, yo,
Cincinnati Country there.
yeah, Cincinnati Country Day. Like, yo, why y'all leaving me? I mean, I'm going to the road. Like, why y'all leaving me? I want to go too.
Yes.
And then of course, you know, we end up going to high school at Withrow, where me and you went. So tell me about your Withrow years.
Oh, my Withrow years. Those were the good times, Withrow. Met more friends, had a blast. Was kind of wild. Yeah, not kind of. I was a little wild, little child. Um, just had a lot of fun. Really didn't take school too serious because to me it was boring. Um, I would go to the classrooms and it was boring to me, and I think it was boring because I was easily doing the work till it got to the point where I started skipping class, and that became fun, but class became boring. And then I had to get my grind in and get back in the classroom and get it in. But with at Withrow, I just remember good times at Withrow. I don't remember any bad times at Withrow. Even as a teenager, at 16, I got pregnant. But I still didn't have no bad times. I never heard anybody say anything about me to me. My things were people asking if I was, and you know, assuming, oh, you're gonna have a beautiful baby, because of you know, who I was having a baby with. I hate to say baby daddy, but other than that, it was fun. I do regret some things that I didn't do, um, that I should have done in school. Like I should have um, been in Dukes. I should have done the drill team. I should have done all of that, but I didn't. I did all of that. I didn't cheer, but I was on the drill team at Lions. But those are some things that I do regret that I didn't.
But I mean, you doing it, you're doing it like now. I mean, I think
I'm
you have,
cheering now, yeah.
yeah, I
But
think
I
you have your own
actually
team right now, don't you?
actually what I'm doing now is actually what I did in school because I was more of like that pep, that scream, and that holler, cheering the teams on and talking smack. Um, I'm doing that now.
But see, I mean, what you don't realize, I mean, I think you do realize, but that, I mean, goes back to what you said, how God is putting you on a path, you know, and to be there for the kids. So that's that support factor. That's the factor that, you know, there's something in you that's saying, you know what, no matter what, I'm still going to support them, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. Like I'll be there. You know, when you look, you know, I was fortunate enough, and I'll tell this story because I was fortunate enough to talk to Jermaine Jones, former NBA player, and he made the statement that hit hard. He said when he was coming up, those times his basketball games and even some of his college games, none of his family was there. And I kind of took that too because I remember my little career per se in junior high school. I never had none of my parents. I mean, I say none of my parents. My mother, I think my brother had one brother come to one of my football games, and that was over
Mhm.
the course of those 3 years. You know, so for you to be in the life of those kids right now is just amazing, and you love it. You know, that's the part about it. And I'll just transition to that because you know even on my social media right now, um, I put hashtag just a kid from Cincy. You know, and you were the one that told me that. Why
Yeah.
why did you feel the need to tell me that? Why did you say like Doug? And I take it to heart. Like it has really become something that is close to my heart. But what made you say that?
I know we were talking about everything that was you were doing with the prison reform, and Black Man Hill was coming, and you were like, "Oh, I don't know," and you were saying, "I think like they want me to do this. Hey, Cook, yo, they want me to do this," and then you would say things, and you would doubt yourself,
Hmm.
And I would say you just a kid from Cincy, and you got to represent Cincy at all times. I mean, this is where we were born and raised. Um, I've left here before, but this is always going to be home. You've you've been gone for a long time, but it's always home. So you're just a kid from Cincy that the odds were against you, and look at you now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
let's
mean, but
go.
see, yeah, let's go. I mean, and that's the thing. And even I'll kind of turn that back to you because that inspired me even more. Like you
Oh
said, there
wow.
was still some, I wasn't sure what my path was going to be, but when you dropped that on me, like it was a whole, like you added some fuel to the fire, and that's why I do it today. But even I think about you, like what makes you say let's go each and every day? What inspires you? What encourages you?
That I know I need to be here for my kids and my grandkids. Um, I mean, I say this now since my sister passed away in 2020, is that it's just me now. Um, some people hate to hear to say that, but it is. It's just me. You know, my sister passed away, Mark's passed away, Billy moved away. It's just me. Um, and I have to. I have to get up and I have to go. And I've always been, a sports fanatic. So when I get to go and cheer for kids, that just, I don't know, it's just something for me. It's just something. I don't know. It's exciting.
Yeah, I mean,
So yeah, I just feel I have to be here. I have to be here. I have to stay healthy. Um, because whether people say it or not, they need me.
yeah, we do, and I
Yeah.
need you. I mean, you're a big part of my inspiration. What makes me say let's go? And I know over the years, even with your sister passing, and I remember like the year before we had that. I think we was at a basketball game. I just remember that picture I took with her on the bleachers, and
For
you've had
our centennial.
your centennial. Like that was amazing. Uh, even for that school, we talked about the history behind Withrow, and I know you've suffered some significant losses, even the death of your son. Can you tell us more about that?
I don't know where you want me to start with that. I lost my son in 2012, April 13th. I never was, Friday 13th never bothered me. My great grandmother used to put a black cat, a pin on with a black cat on every Friday 13th. She was superstitious. And who cares? It's just another day to me. But now it is more than that. But my son was murdered um, in front of my mother's house on Friday the 13th of 2012.
Yeah, and
I
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I had I just take you back. It's like February the 3rd, I had lost my job. Um, my oldest son got sentenced for a vacation away from here. Um, I was just going through some things and couldn't get a job and was wondering like why I've always been easy enough for me to get a job. Um, and I went into this depression, not knowing what the heck was going on with me. But I just was just laying in the bed. I would turn my phone on, but every day I would wake up and call my son Marcus and say, my son's name is Marcus Daniels. Call him, hey, love you. He's like, I love you too. Like, he answered the phone, we chat, whatever. I turn my phone all the way off. That was every day. And one day when I picked it up, I turned it on and went to go get some frozen yogurt with my cousin, then turned it back off. The next day, don't think I spoke to Marcus all that day, but it was on a Friday. Dateline was getting ready to come on. And I said, I'm about to get up, get a shower, get ready and watch Dateline. And as soon as I turned on my phone, my mother called. tell me that Marcus was dead. And so I'm like, I do remember screaming and saying where, and she said the backyard. She'll say to this day that she did not say the backyard. I say that was God telling her to say the backyard because that's where I was going, to the backyard. And I tried to leave. My neighbors came outside. They wouldn't let me drive. They actually knocked my keys out of my hand. And some lady came from nowhere, and it was like a light was on top of her. And she just was walking real. She was the calmest out of everybody, and just walked towards me and said, "I'll take you." And I said, "Okay." So I got in the car with her. She drove an SUV, and she said, "I'm not from here. You're going to have to tell me where we're going." I don't remember, and I don't know how I told her, but I did. But she was a white lady, but the entire time she sung old black Southern church spiritual songs the entire way. I lived in Sharonville. So what, 15, 20 minutes away? She sung no song. She just kept singing. So I'm trying to call people and let them know. And I called my best friend. She didn't answer the phone. So I called her husband's phone. He answered the phone. And then she got on the phone and she was asking me questions. And so I gave the phone to, she took the phone. I don't know how she gave her other people's numbers in my phone. I don't know how this lady was able to do all of that, but she did. And she dropped me off and took off, and I never seen her again. I asked everybody who live around me, who was this? Do y'all know who it was? Where's that car? Whose house was she at? Nobody knew her.
Mm,
Nobody. That's why I know that that was an angel. That God
mm,
sent that angel there to get me there so that I can get there.
wow.
Um, but I was able to get there, and she told me my mom said he was in the backyard. I ran down the front street because I was like, they have that blocked off. I can't get to there, but I can go here and I'm gonna go around this way and jump over that fence. And I never forget it was a police officer trying to stop me and I shook him. I don't know how. I didn't I do. I just like shook him. I spun around. I did an Emmy Smith on him. Like, shh. And I was trying to get to the backyard and my uncle and them grabbed me. I didn't know that I ran right past him. I didn't know. He was right here in the car. Um, if I had known he was in that car, they wouldn't have stopped me. I would have been at that car. But I thank God. But my son was murdered with a high powered weapon. They emptied the whole clip on me, not knowing the first shot killed him, but they continued to empty it while my mother stood in the door screaming his name.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, he was my youngest son, Marcus Allen Daniels, age 26.
Thank you for sharing that. I know it's tough. Just
Yeah,
like
I didn't want to go no more because I'm trying not to cry.
yeah, and but you know that I mean, there's a couple things that's so instrumental in that. One is the angel that came in your life at that particular time to get you where you had to be, and two, and I'll thank you of having the courage to share that story because everybody can't share a story. Everybody can tell a story, but everybody can't share a story.
True.
So that means a lot, and I know that's part of your healing. And even as we talk about it, and I'm kind of speaking it now because we had this talk a long time ago, and I was like, Cook, I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going. You got to do something, and here we are talking about it on a podcast.
Yes.
But your ability to share that story, I know even for the people that will hear this and see it on video, that is actually going to impact their lives because you made the decision to share your story. And even with all the gun violence, and I even told you I had a nephew that was killed in Cincinnati due to gun violence. My father was shot in his head when I was 4 years old. I had an argument with him and his buddy, who was the oldest. His buddy pulled out the gun, shot him in his head. Like I don't remember I wasn't there. Only thing I recall
Mm,
was the funeral. You know what I mean? And I recall all being mad, so to speak, all my life carrying that baggage on my back. So thank you for sharing that. And like I said, across the country, it's is rampant, and I think there's a lot to it. I think there's a lot more that communities can do, but then again, there's a lot of emphasis that uh, the government has a responsibility, individuals have a responsibility, but I think things will change because of people like you. So
Yeah. I
just kind of
just
go ahead.
Can I just say one thing?
Absolutely.
Because we're on here and it's on my heart to say it, that if anybody who has ever lost anyone, I can say the gun violence, you just lost a child, period. You're gonna always hurt. It takes a while for it to get easier. It really isn't easier. You just you get more mature on how to handle it. You're gonna always grieve, you're gonna always hurt, you're gonna always miss them. Just know it gets better, but it doesn't get better. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why
I mean,
we.
it gets better on the way that you handle it, but it just doesn't get better because you're going to always miss that person. And
And
with my son being, his murder being unsolved, um, it still is an issue. But I can tell you now, the night that he was murdered, I didn't sleep. I sat up on the couch at my mom's house and talked to God. And I forgave the person who did it that night. And I think that helped me in a lot of ways, because at his funeral, everybody else was falling, you know, they were, but
mm,
I was standing there. Not that I was by myself, because I can tell you now, even though wasn't nobody there was two arms on my shoulder and somebody had my collar like this. The two hands were literally on me. When I tell this story or say anything like this to I can say anybody in some people, not anybody, but some people in my family, they go, this. But until you experience and you know it, you don't understand it. But I know, and I tell everybody, my faith got me through this. I'm not through it. My faith helps me deal with it. Just let me say it that way. My faith helps me. People say I'm strong. I don't say I'm strong. I just say I have faith. Bless
yeah,
you.
yeah, and I think that's why. I mean, even you were already like that as far as your heart and giving the children, and you know, actually losing your son. Uh, like I said, I think it actually gives you uh, more of a passion to go out and just help somebody else. And I thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. And we'll share even when we release this episode that we give up. I mean, I know the crisis line right now across the country is the 988 crisis line, but just putting out information. Do you know what the local organization is in Cincinnati that can help some others with gun violence?
There is a victims organization, and I don't know the name offhand. I'm so sorry to Miss Karen. She's part of the police department, and she helps with the victims.
All right.
She really works with the kids too, because my granddaughter is now back going to her. I think it's one Saturday a month or whatever, going and dealing with. Um, they just help them
Yeah.
talk to
That.
counselors and do different things to help them deal with it.
And how do you
Uh,
feel about that? I mean, how do you feel? Like me, I'm on this journey at becoming a mental health advocate. How do you feel about them receiving the therapy? Do you think it helps?
oh yeah, I think when you lose someone, especially in that matter, everybody needs to go get therapy. Everybody is they think they're immune to it because murders happen all the time in our communities and in our families. As I've heard it before, and now I say it, like, you might not have dealt with it, but you're going to have to deal with it soon. If it's not someone in your family, somebody close to you, you're going to have to deal with it. So I've always thought that my grandkids should have went and got therapy. I think my children should have went and got therapy dealing with this. I did. Um, I, I'm not ashamed of that. I did.
Hmm.
And I feel like I need to go back to therapy myself just to deal with other things. But I I believe in therapy wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
We need to go. Like
Yes.
go.
Yeah. I get
Yeah.
it because I actually went through therapy with Black Men Heal, and I'm fortunate enough. I mean, I don't continue the therapy, but we have a virtual free space we call King's Corner that we come in there every Sunday, and that's like a group session. We talk about everything. So, I'm still receiving that reinforcement. And then that grieving process. Everybody handles grieving differently. Uh, and you need to get that out. You need to speak to somebody in reference to that. You need to speak to somebody to let all those feelings and all those emotions to be able to express them. So once again, I thank you truly for actually sharing your story. And but
You're welcome.
I'm gonna switch up just a little because
Okay.
I know we just had our 41st. It's supposed to be our 40th, but we had our 41st class reunion. How did that feel?
Um, that felt great. Um, to see, I mean, I saw people that I hadn't seen since we graduated. I saw people that I didn't even know, but they knew me.
Yeah, we talk
From
about that,
school,
right?
from school, like, yo, who is that? Yo, I don't know. That's why I said like we had to have name tags. Even with name tags, there were people that I didn't know. But some of the people that I did get to talk to and let them know that I did not remember them from school, they understood. Um, and I get it that people knew me that I didn't know them, and they thought I knew them. Mm. But it was fun. It was, being on the committee. At times I could have been like a ah,
Right.
but it all came together. We had fun. Um, we basically, I know I didn't want it to end. I don't think any of us wanted to end. That's why we ended up going to brunch and still having a good time. And you even got stuck here.
Yeah, I did. But you know what? And I'll say one of the most. I mean, well, first it was just amazing. But when we went into that library, which is now in a museum,
Woo, woo,
Lord
woo,
Jesus. So we go into the
woo.
library. It was always I remember just walking in and saying, "Oh wow, this is nice." You started looking at all the little artifacts and seeing pictures, and then I noticed when you go in to the left of me were the yearbooks, and I was like, "Wow," you know. Actually, I found my brother in the yearbook, but the thing that brought me to tears and actually the way it went down because I looked in the yearbook because I took my mother's age and I subtracted the years and I came up it was 60 something or
Yeah, that's what
whatever.
you told me from Mama.
Yeah, so I thought I did it right and I looked and I didn't find it. And I remember my wife, Nyree, she said, "No, it's in there." She said, "It's in there. Look." And then next thing I know, she found it. And
I didn't know she
I,
was the one that found it. Yes.
yeah, and I started bawling, and the guy actually, I didn't want to take the picture, but he had the moment, so I took the pictures. But that that uh that was very impactful because a lot of times, and I was just on an earlier podcast with a guy. We have a tendency to forget our history and the prices that our families, our mothers, our fathers, or the generations before us paid. Like I discovered that my mother, she didn't go to college and get their nursing degree. She worked. Oh man, I want to say almost 40 years in the nursery at the Cincinnati General Hospital. I think it's what the University Hospital now.
It's university now, but I
Yeah,
think we were all born. Not think I was born in Catholic school.
yeah. But I mean, and even when my mother passed, like so many people came out because they remember Miss Reed from the nursery. So all that came back, and I remember you found. Not you. Who'd you find? I think your mother.
My
Who?
mother, my uncle, and my aunt, and I was going to look for my other uncle and cousins, but I got the phone call about my mom. Yeah, but yeah, the library to me was the best part. It was overwhelming, but we needed more time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I even saw like, did you get to look at the case where they had the sports players that went professional
No, I
and
didn't
they
see
had their
that.
sports cards in there?
Oh
So
wow.
I saw his name was Joey Jackson play for the Rams. Um, he's much older than me, but he went to school with my uncle. They lived right up the street. I was able to get his picture of his football card and send it to his sister.
Wow. Who else you seeing there?
In there, Ron Oyster, LaSalle Thompson, Tyrone Hill. Um, oh my God, it's one other person. I can't remember his name. It was somebody else, but it was a black guy, and I didn't know he played baseball,
Oh wow.
and he was in there.
Oh wow. I can't think of it either. It's on the tip of my tongue, but we ain't got that kind of time, right? But I mean, but that just goes to show the legacy behind Withrow. I
I
mean,
mean, look at the baseball field named
yeah,
after Ron Oyster, or Oyster, can't say his name. And we found out that the Bengals donated the money, and that's why we got the field that we have.
that's
Ooh
amazing.
day,
Yeah, that's amazing. Hey,
ooh day.
who they? You know, and you are a big fan. So, uh, and a big sports fan. So, I mean, what are your plans like for the future? What do you see? What do you see for Cookie? You said marriage?
Ah,
No, no. What do you see for the future?
um, I I do see marriage, but then again, like I just saw on a podcast the other day, on not a podcast, but somebody said something like, "How you gonna find your husband if you don't date?" So I
Well,
need to do that. My trust level is, yeah. Ever since my son got murdered and not who knowing who did it, I went shoot, 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 shoot,
I
and
get it.
never came out of it, like locked down. And I need to. I need to. Um, but in what I see in the future, what I would like, and I'm just gonna put this out there because I've kept it in and I have it in one of my journals, is I do want to start a nonprofit organization for children of that have lost their parents, and I want to start that to help with school clothes, with school supplies, help with Christmas, help pay for sports because now the kids got to pay for sports play. They got, put all this money in. They need shoes if they're gonna play basketball. They need cleats if they're gonna play football or soccer or whatever they choose to do. I want to start that and raise money to give back. Um, I also see me, I don't know, something is calling me to get more involved with the girl and with the kids as far as sports. I can't coach or do nothing like that, but I don't know if I could be a team mom, but I don't know about a team mom because of my mouth. And I'm a screamer and a holler and I'm back at you like that. So that would be kind of hard, but I just see me at that. Um, like I can say like me, and I know you didn't ask this, like I wasn't a good mom. I can say that. But I'm a better grandparent. And
Mm.
so as we grow and get older, we learn things. Um, so, and I do remember when my sons stopped playing sports in Madisonville and at Reading, because we didn't have a football team, they had to play in Reading. And I switched them to Mount Auburn for basketball and baseball, and no parents were there. And it was weird to me. So it was like myself and maybe the three other parents that were there, we claimed all the kids no matter what. When baseball season came, yo, coach, what's the list? Who's bringing what? Oh, you're not gonna get that here, Cookie. You're not gonna get that here. So I had to go. I would go to Sam's and buy sunflower seeds and bubble gum. Had a cooler in my trunk with the. I would get the Huggies. I mean, the what's those little drinking things, and I would have that for them in every game. And then another parent started bringing things, snacks, and because I would have the snacks every game. I would just go to Sam's and stock up. And Say Marcus played here, Johnny played here, I would alternate, okay, I went to your game this day and this game, but I also would make sure that the bubblegum and the sunflower seeds got to the team that I wasn't at. And I would try to make sure I get over there because I had to pick him up and they would be waiting, like, okay, here go your juices, here's your snacks. Um, because they didn't. Um, and I know there's a lot of kids now, like you said, that are at the schools and parents aren't there. Because I know when my son was in college, I didn't get to see him play that much in college. Um, so I know that it's important to be there and scream and holler. So I try, like, I can't name all the kids' names on with those football team, but I dap them up every time I
Absolutely.
can. I dap them up. Yo, let's go, let's go, let's go. We played Hughes. Rito played Hughes, and my grandson plays from Hughes. They got off the bus. I'm dapping them up. I had on my Rito gear, and they looking at me. I'm like, please, grandma, hold your head up. Let's go, let's go, let's get in there. And they looking at me. I was like, I'm at every one of y'all games.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think somewhere around there, that's where I'm at. I'm somewhere.
yeah.
I'm
But I,
getting I'm getting close. I'm getting close. I don't know where I fit in yet.
yeah. Well, I mean,
But
I think just your support of not only the school but your support of those kids, I guarantee will definitely you'll create your own path because
yeah, the cheerleaders, I don't know their names, but they know me.
yeah, yeah. See, so the title hasn't been made because they are going to create you a job, a paid job at that. You know what I mean? So, oh my God, this has been so rewarding for me just to have this conversation because sis, I respect you so much, and I told you that. So it's actually an honor to actually have this interview, and for it to be broadcast on all podcast streams and on YouTube
Ooh, Lord.
once I get it all released. So I appreciate you. So we're gonna do
Thank you.
one last thing though, and I call it the Let's Go finale.
Can I say one thing before we do that?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm very proud of you. You talked about this, but you actually are doing it. So everything that you talked about and you were scared to do, you're doing, and I'm proud of you.
And I appreciate you.
Yeah,
I mean,
you even came on over to this side.
yeah, yeah. Get rid of the gray. That's a whole nother podcast just for the
Yeah,
just for people that embrace the gray.
embrace the gray.
I think that's what
Yes.
we're gonna name it. But and and I say that because even now embracing the gray, my going back to what we're saying, like the librarian and my mother, like my mother, same thing. She great. She got gray hair early and embraced it. Uh, but I look at it a lot differently now. I look at it as, people calling me the OGs, the unk, so I'm looking at it with the wisdom, to be able to depart wisdom in people, even, going back to doing this podcast, I haven't got my new shirts in, but I got shirts made up because I'm going to be in uniform. I have to be in a uniform because that's military. That's the military in me. So I embrace it, but I embrace everything that comes along with it. And I contribute that to you as well.
Right. Thank you.
All right, so you ready for the Let's Go finale?
Ooh, okay, you said 10?
10.
Okay.
All right, see that 10? See, that's the, I'll tell you a funny side of that. That's that Cincinnati in you. I
The
used to have,
country.
yeah, I used to have that in me. But what happened, hung around too many New Yorkers and Jersey and, all on this
East
Northeast,
Coast.
and I lost it. But I miss it, because
I just
they used to call me country. You know what I
I
mean?
just was watching, listening to I call her my niece. It's one of Billy's best friends. His daughter goes to Howard and she sings. I'm gonna shout her out. Taylor Lee.
Taylor Lee.
Taylor Lee, Tayler. She goes to Howard
Okay.
and she just sung at their homecoming. And she walked out on stage and said, "Hey y'all." I was like,
So look, okay. So look, let's put it out there, Cook. Let's put it out there. Now, I mean, you had to go there, but Howard, and I know, I got nieces at Howard.
okay.
They had a big homecoming.
They always do.
So guess what? And
What?
matter of fact, I hit my niece on social media. I said, "You didn't invite me?" She said, "Next year."
Okay.
All right, you got it.
Right.
Next year we going to the homecoming at Howard.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so
Taylor. Yeah.
yeah. So
Taylor Lee.
to all our families and that are at the HBC at Howard, to all the alumni at Howard, we will be there. Cookie and Doug will be in the place next year.
We can't forget my dancing partner, Nari. Now, come on,
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't
little
forget my wife
sis.
Nyree. She is
Yeah, little
definitely,
sis.
yeah. She'll. Oh, trust me, she'll be there. And and the thing about it, we're only 2 hours from there. Actually, I'm headed down to DC tomorrow
Okay.
to be on a panel. So I love the DC area. I love that area as far as the DMV. So we're speaking it to existence. All right. So you ready?
Let's go.
Let's go. Strength,
Courage,
inspiration,
family, God. That's more than that. Yeah.
children,
Love them. Love.
sports,
Woo, yeah, baby. Let's go.
sacrifice,
Hurt.
motherhood,
I sucked at it. So um I could still say love.
politics.
A mess. Messy. Messy.
Woodrow,
Excellence.
Madisonville.
Oh, that's two words. X and nine. They taught me how to do it. I can't do it. Some kind of way they gonna laugh at me.
Is that it?
That's
All
a
right.
nine.
That's a nine. All right. So, hey, once again, this has been Marcia Cookie Daniels. She's been a part of the Let's Go show. But before we go, Cook, before we go, I like to drop words of wisdom, gems, whatever you want to call it. What could you tell our listening audience?
Live your life. Love your life, but don't hurt others. While you living and loving your life, don't hurt others. Um, don't be selfish. Um, be kind. I'm learning that. Just enjoy. You only get one, and people are dropping like flies. Just try to enjoy life and learn to say no. If something you don't want to do, say no. Oh, it's your birthday? Oh, okay. No.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Doug Reed with the Let's Go show. And you know what I say? Let's go, baby.
Let's
Peace.
go.
I'm out.
Bye.